Hey y'all, how's it going? I'm trading the ES futures on a 2000 tick chart with a 21 EMA. So I've got the overnight highs up here, overnight lows down here. Those are our key levels for the day. So starting off, we have this uptrend here. We break first attempt at a new high, and then we start going sideways here. So after you get that first attempt at a new high, you would want to look to get in on the second attempt at a new high, which there's no way to enter right here. And you can see, we have a second attempt right there. And then when we try to reverse, we end up holding right here and start forming this range. So we know that we can still possibly get a second measured leg for this. If we had reversed right there, it's very possible it could have reversed right there, first attempt, second attempt, reversal. But since we're holding on this range, we know that there's a high likelihood that we can still get a second measured leg here. And so uptrend break, first attempt higher, and then we have a two-legged correction. It's clearly holding right here. It's holding on those highs too. We're forming a range, and then we have this triple bottom right here. See 1, 2, 3 bounces right there, holding above the EMA, good signal bar, and you have room to the highs right there. It goes out one tick. That's really not a big deal. And then when you get that good entry there with that triple bottom, then you get a more significant push higher, and you can clearly tell that this leg is related to this leg. So you can see uptrend, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. And that's very common to when you have when you have a trend and you have the attempts higher, you'll often get a two-legged correction between the two legs at a new high because the market moves in twos. So anyway, we start getting congestive at these range highs. There's really no way to enter this. We just kind of break out we're still straight up with the EMA right here. EMA is pointed up. And you would really want to see something hold back below, but we really don't get that. We just plummet lower, and then we start going choppy right here. We don't quite reach the lows here, so there's no reason to go long either. And then we push up, and then after you get that swing right there, that's when you can start looking for this uptrend right here. We push out of the overnight highs here. We try to fade back in. EMA holds, and then we start going into this range right here. And at this point, even though you are getting this third bounce right here, you don't want to enter long directly into those range highs right there. And then same thing with this entry right here. You just don't want to enter into that. It's just not worth it, because there's going to be people trying to fade the overnight high because it acts as a range. And so, there's really no reason to enter long into resistance when there's also an active, larger range in play that could easily fade. It's just too risky. So you want to stay out of this. Since some people are going to be trying to reach this measured move, some people are going to be trying to fade, it'll be tempting to buy and sell at the same time. And when that happens, you just want to avoid entering at all. So we push out here. We correct back down to the key entry point here. So we have this key entry point. Let me adjust that to make it perfect really quick. Now, you don't want to enter, or let me quickly show you this larger measured move right here. So we have this measured move here, uptrend, break, and then we have this measured move in play. Now, we just reached this measured move. It came within a couple ticks of it, and then we plummeted down, and then we got below the EMA, and then we didn't get any clear entry to go long. And even aside from this measured move right here, there's really no good entry. We just plummet down. We have a strong push down. What you'd want to see is a clear break and an attempt lower, but you just don't get that. You just chop to the side and then bounce off the key entry point. But this downtrend right here is still in play. So you would really want to see a break and an attempt lower. You just don't get that. And in that would end up forming a higher low at this point. See, downtrend, break, first attempt lower. And then if you got a second attempt lower, you can get a failed second entry. But in this situation, right off the key entry point, a higher low would have been fine. But you just don't get that here. It's just going straight sideways. We push up here. We do manage to get up here. It's kind of choppy at first. And notice these bars, a couple bars stacked here. We push up, a few more bars stacked there. But we do reach this high right here. And then at this point, you can see that there's likely a range forming because we're going sideways. The EMA is still up at this point, but you make this double top, and there's really only one bounce off this low right here. It's not even a bounce off the low necessarily because the range isn't in play, so there's no range low. It's just a bounce from this key entry point. And that's kind of where I kind of tricked myself. We had these two legs back, and it was making a double bottom here. And it was really strong, push down here. And once again, it wasn't off of any significant level. It bounced from this key entry point right here. There's no reason to think that this range was in play, especially when the EMA has been straight up in that range the whole time so far. And then also it had STT. I kind of tricked myself into taking it. I make mistakes too, and we had this push up here, and so I was thinking, oh, we have all this momentum, and then we're also making this double bottom here, but it had SDT, and it was also at this measured move right here, which is another mistake I kind of overlooked at that time. Anyway, so we push lower here. I got trapped. We push lower. We retest the overnight low, the overnight high, and then we start going really congestive. There's no way to get in on any of this. It's just really congestive into the EMA. No reason to enter it, but then we do just spike up really sharply. And then after we had that bounce right there, I drew this larger uptrend to see how it holds, and we're just now reaching the highs of this uptrend. So it looks like it's pretty valid at this point. But of course, we haven't confirmed off the lows. We only have 2 bounces off both sides at this point. So we push up here, and then this is the next good looking trade that I saw. So we push up, we spike up, we have a correction. So uptrend, break. We're actually retesting that measured move level right here, which is nice. And so uptrend, break, expecting a new high. And then I didn't like how it rushed below the EMA right here and then barely closed back above. It closed back above the EMA pretty significantly, but it barely closed out of this possible trend here. So that's why I like this higher low. And notice how we attempted to push through the EMA again with a bearish bar. We a couple ticks lower, trapped up higher. That's a trap bar right there. I really like that trade right there. I used the full swing stop to get out 1-to-1, getting out around the high right there, this swing high. You wouldn't want to push it past that, because since you're getting this new measured move here, because you already had this measured move here that had been met, and then you retested the range here, and then you push up here and you're retesting this other measured move now. This is a new measured move that's in play, and you can expect 2-legged corrections. You can expect this right here to have a second possible leg down, and so I didn't want to push it more than this high right here, because what could happen is you bounce off that high, you have a second leg down, and then you end up making this larger measured move anyway. So it's just not worth pushing it more than that. It ended up really taking off though, which is, I mean, that's good, but yeah, I wish there was a better, like 2 significant legs down. That way I could have gone for a larger than 1-to-1 entry there. But anyway, it took off. We start going sideways here. We chop over to the EMA, and by the time you get to the EMA, it's already right into these highs, so you can't enter on that. And then you get this higher low right here. I see that to the tick. It's a first entry short, second entry short failure. That's really just a higher low to me. It's not a good signal bar. And when you do get this good signal bar here, it's like you're already entering directly into the highs of the day, which is not good enough for just a higher low breakout pullback. What I was hoping for was 2 clear legs back to this low right here, so that way I can get something, but that never happened. We just kind of kept going higher here, and so now that we're off this uptrend high, uptrend high, what you want to do is you want to wait for 2 clear legs back, because just like in a range, when you bounce off one side of a channel, price will try twice to reach the other side of the channel. So if you only get a first entry, what'll likely happen is you'll enter long, say after a first entry, you'll get trapped, and then it'll make a second leg down and then go right where you thought it was going to go. Because range rules and trend rules, they're very similar. Of course, trends have a bias, ranges, they don't have a bias, assuming that, you're not in a trend during that range. But yeah, you'd want to wait for 2 attempts lower, because market moves in 2s. So the next possible trade for me would be a 2-legged entry to the EMA here. You got to wait for those 2 attempts, otherwise you're going to get trapped. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope it helped in some way, and I'll see you all next time.